Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am going to show you how I made my homemade porridge from scratch. So stay tuned and I'll show you how I do that. So the products that you're gonna see next, I pre-soak all of my beans and grain, and I'll tell you which ingredients that I'm showing you in these bottles. So I soak all of these ingredients for 24 hours. The reason why I do that is so that the body is more easier to digest the seeds, beans, and peas when you pre-soak them. It's even more better for you if you can sprout them, but I didn't want to take any extra time to do that. Before you soak these ingredients, you have to make sure that there's no pebbles or any rocks that is in each of them, and then you wash them before soaking them. 1 cup of honey beans, 1 cup of soybean, and 1 cup of lentil, 1 cup of rye grain, and 1 cup of wheat grain, and 1 cup of quinoa. I also soak about 2 cups of mixed nuts overnight. So this is what they look like after I rinse them off. You can see what's in there. And this is what the beans and the grains look like. I divide it into 2, and the one in the Ziploc bag, I am going to lay it flat on the surface and then put it inside the freezer and do something else with it. So this is what I did with the sprouted grains. I put them on, I'm going to put them in the oven. I bake them in the oven at 250 degrees, and I did it for 40 minutes. I tried to prevent it from getting burnt. While they were baking, I check on it and I use a spoon and stir it to make sure that they didn't start to get burnt. So I was trying a thing with the blender to see if I can chop up the nuts smaller. I don't recommend this process. I think it will work better if you put it in the processor instead of the blender, but I learned from this lesson because you're going to see what I did next. I had to remove it and continue cutting it up with the knife. I think the blender would work better, at least this kind of blender will work better if the nuts wasn't wet. That's why I think it didn't go as well as I wanted it to go, but that's okay. Another reason why I soak the nuts is because I don't like to have hard nuts inside of my porridge. So I take the mixed seed that I cut up like that, and I dehydrated them until they're fully dried. I did not make a clip of that, unfortunately. So this is what the grains and the peas and the beans look like after I remove them from the oven. And now I am going to use this grinder. Could you believe that this was the second time using it since I had it? I think I had this now for almost 3 years, and this is just the second time of using this. My goal for the future is to start using this grinder to make my own flour, like the wheat from the wheat grain and the rye, and to stop buying the pre-made flour that is in the package. So I was really impressed with this grinder. I am glad that I bought it when I could afford to buy it. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I don't think it was expensive when I got it then. Because the beans and grains wasn't completely dried out from baking it in the oven, they're 90% still wet. So I just lightly grind it up a little bit, and then I am going to show you the next step that I'm going to do, and then I'll explain the reason why I did that. Side note, after making this porridge, you can store the porridge and the nuts inside the freezer if you like. So I divide the flour on the dehydrated tray, and I put it in the dehydrator until it was fully dry. So after I fully dehydrated the flour, I regrind it again in the grinder, but I didn't show that process. So now I'm going to show you the rest of the ingredients that I mix in with the flour. I'm going to put coconut flour. I am going to put cassava flour, and I'll put peanut butter flour. I got that one from Costco. You don't have to put the peanut butter, it's not necessary. It's really up to you what kind of flour or nuts that you want to put inside your homemade porridge, and how you want to use it. If you want to grind them into a flour, or if you want to just sprinkle it in your porridge. So I put the organic oatmeal. I put about half a cup of each of these ingredients in the bowl. Maybe in the future I can get the whole grain oatmeal and grind it up. Before grinding it up, I can pre-soak it, but for now I just use what I have. So as you can see, I'm going to use the coffee grinder to grind up the oatmeal. I really like having the coffee grinder. I actually think I need to get a second one just in case of this one break down anytime soon, because I use it so often for different kind of ingredients. And as you can see, that's what the oatmeal flour look like. Now I am going to mix up everything all together, and then I'll put them in the bottles and show you what they look like. The finished product of my homemade porridge that I made completely from scratch with ingredients that I already have in the pan. Okay everyone, I hope you all got inspired from seeing this process. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, and I will talk to you another day. Bye.